Think positive.
Welcome, or welcome back, to the Gula and Bros podcast, GA for short. I'm your host, Prince. This is a space for inner work, self-improvement, self-discovery, mindset, accountability, integrity, reflection, and personal development. This podcast is built for growth, for honesty, and for becoming a better version of yourself one day at a time. New episodes drop every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Today's episode is called Four Walls and Silence. There's a certain feeling that shows up when the noise fades. Not loneliness, just space. Sometimes that space is quiet. Sometimes it's stillness. And sometimes it's just four walls, your notebook, your thoughts, and silence. No notifications, no conversations, no distractions pulling your attention away. It's just you and what's been underneath the noise. And other times, that same feeling shows up when you're surrounded by people. A full room, voices overlapping, energy moving. Yet, somehow, you still feel separate. I feel that a lot because isolation isn't always about being alone. It's about connection or the lack of it. You can be present physically but restricted. You can laugh, respond, and engage and still feel like no one really sees you. And that kind of isolation feels heavier than being alone because when you're alone, you expect the quiet. But when you're surrounded by people and still feel disconnected, it makes you question things. Your place, your energy, your presence, and your effort. Isolation doesn't belong to one setting. It can live in a small apartment room, a big open space, a workplace full of movement, or a car ride after a long day. Anywhere life slows down enough for your thoughts to catch up to you. Because the walls aren't the point. The space is. Space does something powerful. It slows you down. It strips away distractions. It removes the constant pull of outside influence. And at first, that can feel uncomfortable. Because silence doesn't entertain you. It confronts you. In isolation, your thoughts stop whispering. They speak clearly. Things you've been pushing aside start asking for attention. Emotions you've been ignoring begin to surface. You start noticing patterns where you've been overextending, where you've been settling, where you've been silent when you should have spoken up. Isolation doesn't create these truths. It reveals them. And once you start noticing, it's hard to unsee. You begin recognizing how often you've been moving on autopilot. How often you've been showing up out of habit instead of intention. How many moments you've been present in body and absent in mind. Isolation interrupts that pattern. That's why isolation gets avoided. We stay busy. We stay surrounded. We keep noise playing in the background. Not because we need stimulation, but because we don't want stillness. Because stillness asks questions we haven't been ready to answer. But isolation isn't here to punish you. It's here to help you readjust. It gives you space to hear yourself without opinions shaping your thoughts, without expectations deciding your worth, without constantly adjusting yourself to fit in rooms that drain you. When you're always around people, it's easy to forget yourself. Your boundaries soften. Your needs get quieter. Your intuition gets drowned out. You start reacting instead of responding. Isolation brings those things back. It reminds you who you are when nothing is demanding anything of you or from you. When there's no performance, no explanation, no pressure to be anything other than honest. There's a difference between loneliness and isolation. Loneliness is wanting connection. Isolation is understanding yourself. And sometimes you need that understanding before connection even makes sense. Before you can show up fully, before you can give authentically, before you can be present without losing yourself. Four walls aren't meant to trap you. They reflect you. They show you what you've been carrying once everything else fades. And silence doesn't abandon you. It invites you inward. So if you're finding yourself in a quiet season or feeling isolated in a crowded room, don't rush to escape it. Don't feel it immediately. Sit with it. Write. Reflect. Breathe. Let it show you something. Because when you actually allow isolation to speak, it reveals more than just what's inside of you. It shows you your patterns, your boundaries, your needs. But it also sharpens your awareness. You start noticing what's been right in front of you the whole time. How people show up, how they listen or don't, how energy is exchanged, how effort is returned. Isolation gives you clarity, not only about yourself, but about others too. You begin to see who adds to your peace and who quietly disrupts it, who respects your silence, and who only values your presence when you're useful. And that awareness changes how you move. Because growth doesn't always come from emotion. Sometimes it comes when the noise fades and you finally hear yourself clearly. And in that clarity, you don't just find yourself. You start seeing everything else exactly as it is. And a big part of observing and adjusting is learning how to protect your energy. Not aggressively, not emotionally, but intentionally. You start realizing that not every space deserves access to you. Not every atmosphere is meant to hold your presence. Not every person values your energy the way they consume it. So you remove yourself quietly, without making it a statement, without turning it into conflict, without needing validation. Because protection doesn't need permission. You stop forcing yourself to stay in rooms that drain you. You stop explaining yourself to people who only listen when it benefits them. You stop giving energy to dynamics that don't respect it. And when you pull your energy back, things shift. Some spaces feel different without you. Some people feel the absence. Some connections reveal what they were built on. And again, you let it be. You don't chase understanding. You don't reinsert yourself just to make others feel comfortable. You trust that what values you will meet you with respect, and what doesn't will fall away on its own. Protecting your energy isn't about shutting people out. It's about choosing where you belong. It's about honoring your capacity, your peace, your growth. And when you observe, adjust, protect your energy, and remove yourself from spaces that no longer align, you don't have to say a word. Your absence becomes clarity. Your silence becomes intention. Your consistency becomes the message. That's maturity. That's discernment. That's growth without noise. I hope you found something worth taking with you today. Maybe a new perspective. Maybe a moment to pause and reflect. Thank you for being here and sharing this space with me. Your presence matters. If this resonated with you, share it with someone you care about, because growth spreads through connection. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself, stay grounded, and as always, be safe.